Today, scientists are quite sure that in the Earth's interior, there are at least 200 trillion cubic meters of natural gas. Deposits are dotted across the planet, but of course, they are distributed not evenly. Approximately half of the existing countries do not have any gas reserves. Dozens of countries have limited gas resources. Although there are countries that hold large natural gas reserves, Kazakhstan is one of them. With reserves of almost 4 trillion cubic meters, we are 15th in the world in production of natural gas. Just over 3 trillion cubic meters of natural gas are produced every year in the world. Thus, some simple calculations can show that in 70 years there will be no gas. Of course, during this time a man can find new deposits, but even today, these searches are becoming more expensive and complex. Therefore, sooner or later, the exploration activities will go almost to nothing. You may ask, what should we do now? As the appropriate professionals have already answered to that question, at the very least we should save. According to the world reserves of natural gas, Kazakhstan is on the 12th place, and who will continue to be on the same level of natural gas extraction, it will be enough for us for the next 50 years. Most of the time, the natural gas is extracted in the western and southern parts of the country. The biggest fields are Karachaganak, Tengiz, Kumkol, Zhanazhol and Ozen. Natural gas supplies a quarter of today's world energy consumption. The consumption will grow as the number of gas-fired power plants are growing, and the population of the planet who use the gas in everyday life is also growing. Natural gas consumption in Kazakhstan is also increased. Therefore, almost all natural gas projects in the country are implemented with an emphasis on the needs of the domestic market. And any project in question implies a steady increase in natural gas production in our country. The major producers of natural gas are Karachaganak Petroleum Operating, Tengiz-Chevroil, CNPC, Kazmunaygas. They have 80% of the total share of blue fuel in Kazakhstan. On the average, the gas production in the country grows by 3 to 4% a year. In 2013, it made up about 42 trillions of cubic meters. Kazakhstan, holding 2% of the world's natural gas reserves, has entered in a big gas production race a long time ago, increasing its production volumes due to increased production from the giant Karachaganak oil and gas field and new projects in the Kazakh shelf of the Caspian Sea. About a third of the natural gas is transferred back to the extracting fields, which makes the extraction of oil much easier. The quarter is used to satisfy the needs within the country. Another quarter goes for export. About 15% the companies use for their own needs, and about 2% is burned during the production. However, the gas produced in the country is mainly associated petroleum gas, which is not all good. If we miss out the complex professional explanation, we can say associated means that a large part of the extracted gas should be pumped back for the rational use of subsoil. Thus, no matter how impressive the raw gas production growth would be, and the production volumes are already great, marketed gas production levels are much less impressive. Nonetheless, as the representatives of relevant ministries say, the levels of Kazakhstan marketed gas production will begin to increase and impress us after 2030. Well, just to close the period till which we have estimated demand. Thus, by 2040, the natural gas demand worldwide will be more than 5 trillion cubic meters per year. This is more than 60% above the level that the world has consumed, for example, in 2013. And all this huge increase in demand will be due to increased consumption from developing countries. Our neighbor China, for example, will increase its consumption for at least 11% per year. The analysis of estimated world gas fields and resources confirms that it will be possible to satisfy worldwide needs in gas in 2040, which is positive news. What's next? This is a very sensitive issue. Kazakhstan annually produces 20 billion cubic meters of natural gas and consumes only 13 billion cubic meters for now. However, Kazakhstan still has to import blue flame gas. The southern regions of the country are supplied with imported gas, as the system of distribution of the pipelines across the country is not quite optimal. Only 10 of 14 regions of the country receive gas in the required volumes. Today, Astana and especially other regions of the central Kazakhstan are not properly provided with natural gas through pipelines. In order for us to transfer our blue fuel that we produce here in the southern Kazakhstan, we need to invest a huge amount of money to build pipelines due to the long distance. The government takes some of the expenses in order to transport gas to other regions of Kazakhstan. The construction of pipelines doesn't happen only in our region. It is also happening in other regions of Kazakhstan, all over the country. I believe this work is enough in order to satisfy the gas needs of different regions of Kazakhstan. At the moment, only 10 out of 14 regions of Kazakhstan are fully provided with natural gas. For other 4 left, the government already developed a special program to provide gas, including the region of Astana. At the moment, there is a plan for the next 5 years in Kazakhstan. We are realizing this plan in the southern regions of Kazakhstan. The main objective of the plan is to provide gas to all the regions of Kazakhstan, including the cities and small villages. This plan needs to be realized by 2016. All of our efforts are dedicated to the full realization of this program. I think we will be able to fulfill our plan on time and with no problems. Actually, if we look at the current state of the Republic gas market, we can see that the country more transports gas through its territory rather than produces, consumes or exports. International gas transit through Kazakhstan in 2013 amounted to more than 99 billion cubic meters. In the future, this figure will only increase. Especially pleasant moment in this situation is country's income growth. In the next 25 years, Kazakhstan will receive almost $8 billion for transit of gas. For the first time, people extracted gas over 100 years ago. CH4, methane, is in fact almost the gas that we use. Methane is the third most abundant substance in the universe. Hydrogen and helium are just a little bit more. Gas we extract from the earth is from a distance of about 1 kilometer up to 5 or 6 kilometers. As well as oil and coal, gas is formed from organic material of animal origin under high pressures and temperatures.
Сейчас в мире все больше и больше распространения получают именно двигатели.
Today, the gas operating engine is very popular in the world. Now, this trend is also in Kazakhstan. The country is working on different programs related to gas. The gas stations are buying a special equipment in order to fulfill the requirements of certain consumers. I think that car owners will transfer to gas fuel very soon, because it is less expensive and environmentally safe. Also, the specialists say that the engine works better on gas rather than on oil fuel.
Лучше на газе, чем на бензине.
Without the natural gas, the chemical, metallurgy, mechanical, engineering industries would have stopped. Gas consumption in the production of building materials has also increased. Of course, there is a growing consumption of natural gas among the ordinary people too. That is, natural gas is a valuable and expensive, in the true sense of the word, source of the energy. However, a simple consumer receives gas at a price much lower than its cost, which consists of a number of factors: the cost of production, transportation, processing, and delivery. At the same time, the relevance of the construction of new pipelines and upgrading old ones are continuously aggravated. The Ministry of Energy of Kazakhstan, for example, calculated that to produce gas, a well with depth of 5 kilometers is needed. To drill such a well, it costs today about $15 million. And that's not all. Kazakh gas, the so-called sour, with a mixture of hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide, the gas that requires cleaning, and it is also a very expensive process. After that, natural gas need to be delivered to a designated region, of course, through the pipeline. To build 1 kilometer of a pipeline costs about $2 million. That is, if you want to build 500 kilometers, you will have to pay $1 billion. Today, the price of gas in Kazakhstan is one of the lowest in the world. Its average price is about 5 cents per cubic meter. In the same Russian market, a global mining giant of a blue fuel, people pay for gas twice as much. And this is not the maximum. Europeans are out of luck even more. For example, Swedes pay $1.5 per cubic meter. Greeks, Danes, Italians also pay a very high price. In 2014, Kazakhstani gas prices went up. They bear far away from European prices, of course, but at the same time, the domestic consumer took the news without enthusiasm. Raising tariffs was really necessary. However, gas operators suggested conditions under which any consumer pays only for the amount of gas that he actually used. We're talking about a system of pay differentials. The system is not new. Kazakhstanis are paying in such a way for electricity and water, the same way you can pay for gas. And remember, it is not that expensive.